Hey, check one, check two, check one, check two. Are we going live? Do we know? Yeah, we are going live. Hello, guys. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Sober Talk. It is Sunday night, and wow, if ever there was a day to fall off the wagon, today is that day. But not doing it. Protecting that sobriety. So hang tight. We're going to go live in a second. Hey, if you want to go live with me, email me. The link is in the description. Tom@tommabe.com. Tom@tommabe.com. All right, here we go. Woo! All right. How are you? Man, I gotta tell you, it's been one of those days. It has been so tough. Just life just kind of happens. I woke up to some emails about people wanting to go live with me, but they were afraid to go live. Totally get it. You do not have to go live with me. I think it helps to talk about it. If you're thinking about quitting drinking, we had this big discussion about cutting back last time, and there's no such thing as cutting back unless you're going to say, hey, I'm not going to drink until New Year's Eve. That's cutting back. But trying to cut back up to, instead of 9 beers a day, I'm going to have 7. That's not cutting back. I had an email from a guy who said he's gone 2 days, no drinking, and then today he started drinking like at 10 in the morning. I get it, man. I totally get it. But you have to get some of those sober dates under your belt, and you'll protect those sober days. This is a service I do for myself, so it's somewhat self-indulgent. But if it helps you guys too, it helps. That's even twice as nice. But doing this keeps me from. It's a reminder. It's just like, hey, you quit drinking. Don't go back to drinking. When things are good, oh man, let's celebrate. Let's have a drink. When things suck, man, I need a drink. There will always be an excuse to drink. Yeah, just a tough day. Let's see if I am live. I'm here by myself, and I don't have a producer to tell me if we're actually online or not. So, there I am. 2 minutes in. So, if you want me to call you, please email me your phone number. It's tom@tommabe.com. Tom@tommabe.com. It's been about
doing this.
I downloaded this really cool app.
There I am too.
It's called Let me tell you what this app is. If you want to, it's like, you see all these apps for how to work out, how to lose weight, how to do the intermittent fasting, and how to count carbs and all that. This is a really cool app. This is called My Toolkit, and it's an AA thing or something. It's really cool. So let's see what kind of comments we are getting, and we'll get right to the phones and call people.
So if you want
it seems like the big thing that people are struggling with right now is the big thing is that people are struggling with is how do they get started? How do they jumpstart their sobriety?
It's been about
let's give a shout out to my baby Megan. Hello, Megan. Jeff is watching.
Let me tell you what this
Tom@tommabe.com. Carrie is TLM@TLMMABE.com. Hi from Klamath Falls, Oregon, and you're quite right. So even if you don't, maybe you know someone who drinks too much. Don't be embarrassed to talk about it. Look, I got 4 million followers on my platform. We don't have 4 million people watching right now. That's something else. When I go live just with my phone, I get hundreds of people watching at once. And each of these episodes, we have like 10,000 people watching by the end of the day. But I'm not embarrassed about it. It's the way I'm wired. I cannot drink like a normal person. I will have one, then one turns into 6, and all of a sudden, garage door has to shut people at work. The office here, and I'm 7 beers in. So it is what it is. I've tried everything to stop drinking. I've quit for a year. I've quit for 2 years. Something bad happens, and I get upset, or I think, I got it under control. I went a month, I went 2 years, or whatever it is. Maybe at that time. We talked about that vicious cycle that happens to me quite often. But let's, look at this. Bernie Butterwick. It's been about 2 years. I work the program and live by it. Bernie, I'd love to call you. Bernie Butterwick. Can you email me, tom@tommabe.com? I'd love to have your number and call you. Oh, Taylor Anthony Myers getting a lot of feedback. Taylor, feedback about what? I think I have your number. Can I call you, Taylor? Let's see. Let's see here. Let's go with this first one here, and let's see if I can find it. Taylor, all right. So, all right. Check one, check two. All right. Hypnotized. It's good to be heard right now. I can hear myself really good. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Is Taylor there?
No, but you have the wrong number.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Taylor changed his number since last time I called him 4 years ago. Imagine that. So, we got a special guest coming in here just shortly. I'm calling, and I had him on the other night, and I said, hey, guys, his story's so great that we're going to have to break this up in multiple segments. But let's call this guy here. Let's call, real quick before we call our main guest, let's call Daryl. Daryl's 309 area code. Hopefully he has some good stuff to say, and he's not pranking me, which they do that sometimes. Let me just hit the wall button.
Your call has been forwarded.
Well, Daryl, you didn't pick up, brother. Finally get a number, you don't pick up. So we will come back to Daryl. Let's call my friend. There you go. This is Chris. Here we go. Man. I'm thinking too while this is ringing. I'm thinking about doing sober talk like 1 or 2 nights a week where I can get things done. Hello, Chris. It's Tom Mabe calling from Sober Talk. How are you, my friend?
Hey, Tom, not too bad. I was actually just laying some towel around my kitchen.
Laying some towels while you got a leak, or you said tile? Like on the wall tile?
Backsplash.
A backsplash. Is it a good time or a bad time? Can you take a little bit of a break?
Nope. I can always take a break for you guys.
Oh, man, that's awesome. So I've been getting emails, when I started Sober Talk, it's kind of self-indulgent. It's kind of like the 12th step where you got to do like a service, or that, you don't have to do anything, but it helps me to talk about my sobriety and things like that. And, I was talking about how once I get 2 or 3 days under my belt, man, I want to protect those sober days. What I'm finding, a lot of people have a hard time. I got an email from an individual this morning saying, I made it 1 day, I made it 2 days, and then today it's not even 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, and I've already had 2 or 3 beers. What do you think? How do you think? How can you help people? What do you tell people who are having a hard time, going 2 or 3 days without drinking? Or going more than 2 or 3 days. What do you think the answer to that is?
The will do not want to drink or use is the big thing. But, when you relapse, you're already thinking about it for 3, 4 days or maybe longer. And finally, just because you don't read your book, your AA book, or go to meetings, you just kind of give up on yourself and you just end up drinking, and then you kind of have a self-pity party.
Yeah.
If you go 3 or 4 days, it's always hard, no matter what. But if you stay with meetings and talk with people, talk with your mom, your dad, your best friends, your cousins, or a best friend too is always helpful.
Yeah, and I also find too that a lot of these people who watch meetings is not their cup of tea, and it wasn't my cup of tea for years and years and years. So what an alternative, which I have not found an alternative to this. This is the healthiest I've been. Today's been a tough day, and if ever there was a day to drink, it would have been today. But
did you make a phone call today, though, Tom, to anybody?
Yes, I think I talked to you earlier. I talked to another friend of ours, and you pick up the phone and you call somebody. You pick up the phone and you call Sober Talk, or you give me your number and I'll call you. But you're right. You build it up. You just kind of plan. I've gone 2 days. I want to drink Sunday. Sunday I'm going to drink. It's okay. I went 2 days. But usually they start drinking. It's about an hour in. They realize, what the hell am I doing?
Yep. That's when your self-pity comes in, your morals come in. You're like, what am I doing? Why did I do this? And it's hard to get over. I've done it, but also at the same time, I've thought about doing it for 3-4 days, and finally I give in, and that's when I drink or get high,
Right.
I didn't pick up that phone and call somebody today because I didn't go to a meeting. Even if you don't like meetings, call somebody. Go hang out with somebody that's on your side, someone that's for you.
I'm finding when I get a lot of structure in my day. My day, what's the whole idle hands, idle minds, or something, or that's it's I think if you have structure, like every day now, I get the wife and kids and go, okay, work ethic. Here's what we're doing. Josh, you and Dad are in the kitchen. Kenzie, you're on the floors. Mom, you're taking the trash out, and we do a project, and it's a great bonding experience, and we're cleaning our damn house at the same time. What a win-win situation. Yeah. So hey, if you could make sure that your phone stays towards your mouth, it kind of goes in and out when you
Okay.
You're still laying tile, aren't you? Don't lie. You're multi.
No, I'm not. No, I'm actually walking around the yard smoking a cigarette.
Okay.
And, even if you don't have a family, go to a friend's house. Someone that cares about you. Do something with them. And if you're bugging their life, they're probably not like a true friend.
Or if you have drinking buddies, maybe not go to that friend's house. But I just think going for a walk. Yesterday I went for over 4 miles. My wife and I went for a long walk in the parklands, and it was so bad. It was or not bad. I was so sore this morning. I said, well, let's just do a short walk. Well, we ended up doing another long walk, and I'm so tired. I didn't want to come here. I told my wife, I said, I'm not going to the office. I'm just too tired to do it. But daggone it, I'm here. I showed up. I dressed up. I showed up. I cleaned up. I'm here, and I'm doing it now. And already I feel better.
I was just gonna say, how do you feel now? You feel good, don't you?
Yeah, I don't feel like a piece of crap because I didn't show up and do this when I told people I was going to show up and do it.
Exactly. The hardest part is just doing it, and once you do it, that's when your gratitude comes into play, and you're like, oh, this was all worth it. All the complaining and BSing, that you find, and it pays off at the end.
It really does. It really does. So I just wish I knew what to tell people. This is not a AA meeting here. I'm not a doctor. I'm just some dude who have 100 war stories, as they call them in the meetings. That's where you get drunk and you arm wrestle your boss's wife or something like that at a Christmas party.
Yeah. That's for sure. Or tackle your best friend's wife.
Yeah. I can tackle her. Well, I took her down so easy. I took her down. So how have you been? You're how long have you been sober now? You said you went sometime in July. You went sober in July?
July 16th, I got sober, and I've just been staying busy with work and everything. And then, like I said, I got lucky enough to have a wife that's sober also.
Yeah.
And I've never really done it without a partner.
Mm-hmm.
But a couple times I did it without a partner. I bugged the hell out of my friends.
Yeah.
I just bugged them, and I didn't bug them to the point where they're not my friends, but they understood I needed somebody around to help kind of babysit me. Help me keep my mind. Help this 12-year-old keep my mind out of the gutter. When gutters means drinking and drugging.
Using or whatever. Yeah, I totally get it.
You can help them out too. Every once in a while, we could buy groceries for the family, have them cook, and go for a supper, just relax with them, go for a walk, like you said, anything to help out.
Yeah, and I'm laying more planks in my laundry room. You're doing the tile. I'm doing these vinyl planks on the floor, and when you see something done, but I went past year on and off being a piece of crap, not getting anything done. Just a pity party. Insecurities and everything. And right now I'm not insecure, but it just seems like I got a couple personal things happening in my life where it would be so easy to go get a 12-pack and just kind of kick back around the bonfire in the back and just drink beer. But
they never said being sober was easy.
No, but being drunk and getting arrested and getting DUIs and losing your job and showing up late, or just not showing up. That's the alternative. And my thing is health, and my health is stronger than my willpower. At least I hope that's the case. My health is stronger than my willpower, and plus my kids' lives. Are you so since you quit July 16th? Things at home, are they good with your wife and kids?
Oh, they're wonderful. They're shoot. My kids love it too. They almost kind of like, I almost think in my head sometimes like, man, Dad's sober. You guys working a lot now. We're doing a lot of things together now. You know?
Yeah.
COVID got amazing. The COVID got amazing. Now we're doing things around the house. We're helping each other out.
Yep.
My kids ain't scared to talk to me right now. They're actually talking to me instead of like being fearful of me. Oh,
yeah. When's he going? When's he going to go off? When's he going to do this? When's he going to do that?
Exactly.
Well, man, so. I will let you. I do have. I'm making this. So this is not going to be a very long sober talk, but
That's fine.
I want to talk again, and I want to hear some of your. Do you have one really good war story you can share, being high or being drunk, and something that you did that was just. Or are there some things just too embarrassing to talk about when you got drunk?
They're all embarrassing. But, good old war story. Oh shoot! I don't know. Let's see here. Oh, okay. I'm trying to think of a good one that won't give me too much trouble.
How about your truck?
Oh yeah, one time I was out drinking and I came home. I was by myself and I woke up and I was late for work, of course, because I was drunk and hungover.
Right.
And then my wife had to wake me up, and I was in a panic. I was like, "Oh shit! Or shoot! I'm gonna be late." And I had my sister-in-law, younger than us, staying with us, and I couldn't find my truck. It wasn't in the driveway. It wasn't in the street. It wasn't nowhere. So I thought someone stole it, either from the bar or my house. I left the keys in it. So she ends up walking out, giving me a ride to work. I go to work for 2. Oh, yeah, I went to the bar first looking for my truck, and it wasn't there. So I go around a couple buddies' places. I called them. They're like, no, we don't have it, brother. It's not over here. I'm like, all right, cool. So I go to work, and I'm panicking, freaking out. I told my boss I'm going to have to leave. I have to go to the cops and make a report, blah, 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 and everything else. So I finally called my wife, and Crystal was like, she's like, hey, dumbass, the truck is in the street right in front of the house. I was like, no, it's not. I know it's not. Your sister didn't see it either. So she took a picture on her phone and sent it to me, and there it was. Right in front of my house.
It's like walking around looking for your car keys, and the whole time you got the car keys in your hand. I remember calling my wife, have you seen my phone? And she's like, what did you call me on?
Oh, I do that sober.
Yeah. All right, brother. I got a couple here coming in, but
Okay.
Thanks for picking up. But your advice for people wanting to quit is go to a meeting, call a friend, call a buddy, go for a walk, just do anything other than drink. And I promise you, if you get 3 to 5 days under your belt, it's a whole new ball game. And you don't need the alcohol, and you'll protect those sober days. You will protect those sober days.
And it's hard. I mean, it's always going to be hard. It don't get easier for a while. But the more you just pick up that phone, the easier it gets for you. Just always pick up the phone and call somebody.
Yeah.
That's the biggest, hardest thing in the whole world to do in sobriety is picking up that phone.
Yeah.
So always pick up a phone and call somebody.
Yes. Like I just called you. I appreciate it, buddy. I'll talk with you soon.
All right, buddy. Talk to you later.
See you later.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
So that was Chris. He is from Sioux City, Iowa. Same as a comedy production, comedy pro. Margaret Campbell says, take one day at a time. And what that means is one day at a time. It's not a cliche, and I want to say this every chance I'm reminded about. One day at a time means like the next day, if you get one day under your belt, the next day is a little easier. And not only is it a little easier, like, hey, I made it one whole day, I can make it 2 days. And you make it 2 days. And then the third day, you're like, all right, so you're going to do whatever you can to protect those 2 days. Now, sometimes you'll like celebrate. I had 2 days, let's have a drink, which is totally ridiculous. But people do that. Big shout out to my son, Josh. Should probably call him one day and get him on the phone and have him talk about my passing out in the chair in the living room. But let's call Taylor. I think Taylor was just kind of saying hi. I don't think he has a drinking issue or anything, but let's call him. I just don't know. I literally have one day at a time tattooed on my chest. Bubba Dill says he has one day at a time tattoo on his chest. Now Bubba, that avatar, that's not you, obviously. That's a girl in a V-neck with no tattoo, looks like. Let's see here. Let's do some shout-outs, and then we'll call her next time. Your audio is doubling up. Okay, well, that's because I think... Is it still doubling up? Let me call here. We got another caller we're going to call here. I'm so glad you guys are here. Even just a few of you guys, it helps me out so much. And it's nice. It's nice to... And the 12th step of the program talks about, doing a service and, helping other people out, and mainly helping myself. But let's see.
Hello.
Hey, Taylor, how are you?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing well. How's the audio? I just saw a comment earlier. It said your audio is doubling up. Is that still doubling?
Yeah, it was getting pretty bad, but it fixed itself. But now I'm having trouble with the video feed, but I can still see the comments and everything.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine over the phone.
Were you watching on a Mac or your phone, or what were you watching on?
I was watching on my iPhone.
Okay, yeah. Sometimes when you're on a computer, Google Chrome is a better server. So you have nothing. You're not a drinker or any. This is a show I do called Sober Talk, and it's just it's like AA for dummies. It's nothing. But you never. Are you a drinker, or were you a drinker?
I was. I actually started. This might be a bit of a shock to a lot of people. When I was 8 years old, I actually started drinking a little bit, and it started which of course my dad died when I was 6, so pretty much my whole life I'd seen people deal with things with substances. Like, oh well, I know that they've lost a family member, and they drink, so it makes them feel better, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, so it started with stealing alcohol, and then whenever I turned 14, it got pretty bad. I became suicidal. I was just, because I grew up in a family where the men suppress their feelings. You're not supposed to talk about it.
Yeah.
If you fall down and scrape your knee, oh, suck it up, you'll be all right. So I was always afraid to, I guess, express how I felt, just because, so, it bottled up, and it got to where, I tried to hang myself in my closet.
How old were you when you did that?
Actually, the first time I tried to commit suicide, I was 9 years old. So
Taylor, I had no idea.
Oh yeah, it was a pretty rough. Which my mom, single mom, she did what she could, but I had gone through a lot before. I was 12. Before most people go through in their 20s. So it was, and I knew that. I knew that. Hey, I'm a kid. I'm not supposed to be doing this stuff.
Right.
I had tried marijuana for the first time already. I had tried, all kinds of stuff. But whenever I turned 14, that was, I'd get off the bus, and my mom had just gotten remarried, and they had a lot of leftover liquor. So I would go there, and I would chug as much vodka or whatever was left before. As soon as I'd get off the bus, I'd go straight home, and I would chug as much until I felt like I was gonna throw up, and then I would just go in my room and just pass out until the next day. So
was your mom aware? Was she aware of your drinking, you think?
No, because she was raised similar. However you feel, just hold it in. Don't talk about it. And I don't blame her, because she raised me the best that she could.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I had all these issues. I was the ADHD kid at school. Nobody knew really how to deal with a kid like that.
Yeah, and you self-medicate when you have ADHD. That's very, very...
Exactly. And I was on Ritalin RS, Strattera, Adderall. I was on all that different medication.
Yep, same here, yep.
But, it became a cushion. And I really liked how it felt.
Oh, yeah.
Because no matter how hard you fell, you had that cushion to catch you. So you didn't really care about, how far you were falling, because you knew that cushion was going to be there for you whenever you hit the bottom.
Right.
And yeah, I never did a lot with pills or hard drugs. It was mostly just alcohol. But whenever I turned 16, I got into filming. Of course, I stopped drinking a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the jackass type stunt. So pain became my new substance abuse, if you want to call it that way.
You like, it's like when people cut themselves or whatever. You felt alive. You were addicted to
Yeah.
pain.
I was pushing myself to the point where if I was going to feel pain, I wanted to inflict it on myself.
Wow.
Not somebody else causing me this pain. Not the death of my father, not the way I was being raised, being picked on in school, which caused me to be a bully as well. So, I was always a fat kid. So, I had a lot of issues growing up. So, I was a fat kid. They called me Porky on the bus for like 5 years. So, and comedy was always a good way to, if you make fun of yourself, it's easier whenever other people do it to, take that bullet. It's like, oh, well, I call myself fat. So you calling me that, that's not a big deal. So, yeah. So, and
Wow.
after that kind of, we filmed for a while, and then I moved to Louisville, and I worked at Milkwood for a while, and I was around alcohol a lot. And by this time, I had stopped drinking for a while.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did you ever quit drinking?
If I did, it would be a year or two here and there.
Right.
I mostly just did it whenever I felt. You know how, like, whenever you talk to somebody and they instantly tell you what's wrong with them, and so you don't feel like they're listening to you. You just feel like they're
I'm
waiting
sorry.
for
Well,
their
I'm sorry.
turn to speak.
Are you there? What were you? I'm teasing. I'm sorry.
I'm bad.
I was being silly. I know what you're saying. And I've been told by many people, coworkers, family members, that I'm that guy. But I could go back and tell you every single thing that you had said. But I am that guy where it looks like I'm not listening or paying attention. But usually I'm doing 2 or 3 different things. So go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it became something like that. So then I got to the point where I felt like if I did open up, nobody was, just to be blunt about it, nobody gave a shit.
Right.
That's what I felt like. Nobody cared enough to either reciprocate or, sharing a similar story would have helped. But, it got to the point where I just wanted to shut everybody out. So then I got to where I was getting drunk every night for about the whole time I was in Louisville. For the whole year I was there, I was drunk about every night. And it's funny because you're a part of this now. Whenever you helped me propose to Amanda, the night that I met her, that changed everything. I had gone to drinking every night, being miserable, feeling sorry about myself, basically just wanting attention, but not wanting to feel like I'm wanting attention.
Right.
I don't want to be that person who's, trying to set the hook and, reel it in.
So tell me about Amanda. So did you stop drinking when you met her, or what do you mean?
Actually, we still drink every now and then, but it's a good. I don't.
How long between drinks? How long between drinks?
Oh, we've been together 5 years, and she's seen me drunk twice.
Wow. Wow. So maybe.
What happened?
Wow, that's interesting. Go ahead.
Yeah, she really helped. Actually, we both really helped each other get over a lot of issues that we had. And she had just gotten out of a bad relationship, so she was drinking a lot. So then I seen that, and I was like, I really care about her. I'm not going to drink because I want to make sure that she's safe. So in a way, her dependency kind of became my stronghold. I was like, okay, I want her to get over this herself. I mean, she wasn't an alcoholic or anything per se, but she was replacing, I guess, how she had been treated with alcohol.
Well, the biggest addiction thing, two of the biggest things, a pattern that they've seen with people with addiction comes from abandonment
Yeah.
and trauma. So you said your father passed away when you were 8?
6.
6. You started drinking when
Yeah.
you were 8, and then 14 it kind of plateaued. Sometimes I use words out of context. What Tim knows. That's amazing. So if you look at a pattern, you put 20 different alcoholics in a room, and you talk to all of them. ADD. Sometimes you're not an alcoholic, or you're just self-medicating because you have extreme ADHD. I was told that, but the doctor was extremely wrong. I drank too daggone much, and a lot of people, if you want to know who Taylor is, if you ever saw one of my pranks, have you ever seen? It was called "Will You Rob Me?" and I can't say the name of the group anymore because of some silliness there, but it's a group that I formed in a prank that I wrote, where 4 African Americans came up to you and Amanda walking down Highland Boulevard there in the Highlands on Bardstown Road, and
right in front of that Chase Bank.
Right in front of the Chase Bank, which is now closed, but across from the Walgreens there, and they start harassing you. Hey, what you got? You got any money? You got any money? And you think they're going to rob you, and I pull up as a cop on a bike, and I get you. They said, well, he said he had a gun. I said, sir, you have a gun? I don't have a gun. And Amanda's freaking out. I said, hand behind you. I said, put your hands behind your back, sir, like I'm going to handcuff you. You put your hands behind your back, and that's when I handed you the ring, right? And you got down on your knees, and the 4 black guys started singing. They're probably 4 of the most talented people in the world, singer-wise, just started singing the song that I had written. Look at me, I'm on my knees, girl, I want to marry you. And that went on to get millions and millions of views, and that's where you know Taylor from. But Taylor, I didn't know that you had this past with alcohol, and I'm so happy that you've gone 5 years without anything. Is there any way you can text me when we hang up here and tell me what the audio and video is like, at least? Guys that are watching, I don't know what's going on with the echo. Sometimes it's just something, the machine will get stuck on stupid, and I got to turn everything down and turn everything off, turn it back on again. But I got to call this next person here, Taylor. Is there anything else? Let's take about 90 seconds or 60 and just wrap it up. What do you want to leave us with?
I mean, honestly, just like with any problem, there's always a solution. No matter how you were raised or who you were with or whatever relationship that you were in that was just horrible, there's always an answer. And the hardest part is definitely finding, especially if you have a dependency or disease like alcoholism.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say that you have to find it, but most of the time it'll make itself clear to you, and in the most unobvious of ways, of course, because just like with Amanda, she's the reason why I do anything good anymore, and the kids. So that really helps me out. But yeah, just if you really want to change, then it'll make itself known to you.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. And right now, for the first time, although today was kind of a tough day, and I'm just worn out because my 2 days of ultimate training, the walk, through the parklands. Living alcohol-free is one thing, but living alcohol-free and happy is another thing. I always heard the term dry drunk. I never knew what that meant. But AA is so much more than, or any kind of 12-step program. I'm not affiliated with AA or anything. I'm a fan of it, but this is not an AA meeting, but just want to stress that. But it's so much, that particular 12-step is so much more than just quitting drinking. It's about how to lead a good life and a happy life and an honest life and and I'm loving it. I'm finding out so much about me, and I thought I was just always messed up, and I'm wondering, why did I do this, and why did I say that to that person, or this to that person, or whatever. And you start, oh golly, and then there's there comes the amends. All my family, my wife, and friends. I have an amends is not an apology. It's kind of going, here's what I did wrong, and you just acknowledge it. So I'm working it, brother. Well, thanks for.
Well, I was going to say one more thing, if it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was going to say, just like how I said, I was raised, taught to be quiet about your problems. It doesn't matter if you're a meat and potatoes kind of guy, blue collar worker, whatever. If you're afraid to open up, that's going to be one of your biggest faults. Like even if you just look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you have a problem, that's a step.
Yes.
And sometimes it's easier talking to a complete stranger than it is a family member. So if you bump into somebody, waiting for the bus, or just getting it out there, even if they look at you like you're crazy, at least you've gotten that off your chest. So don't be afraid to express yourself, even if you start to cry, because that shows strength. That's not a weakness. That's strength.
I've cried in an Uber car one time.
Yeah.
So, all right, brother. Appreciate you. It's so good to hear your voice, and let's talk soon off of air here. That'd be great.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. It's good to hear from you, man.
And shoot me a text. What about the audio? Because I can't tell what it's doing on my end.
All right, man.
Thanks, brother. See you, brother.
All right, have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
That was a long lost buddy that I reached out to me a few years ago. Say, hey, I want to propose to my girlfriend. I don't have a whole lot of money, but I want to make it special. I'll do something nice, something cool. And I said, well, I may have an idea. And boy, did we rock it out. It was it's on Facebook and YouTube called "Will You Rob Me?" So if you get a chance, check that out. Let me see real quick if I'm getting comments about the feedback anymore. If that's gone away. Yeah, man. Just for whatever reason, I'm just extra twitchy today, extra just heightened. I got a couple phone calls, business related, that kind of threw me for a little bit of a loop, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. This is not. I'm closer to retiring than not, so I don't want to deal with
Buddy.
BS. Hold on, there we go. Let's see. Life isn't. Let's see. Skydiving is really. All right, so let's call our next guy here. This is. Let me tell you who this is. We're calling Chris. We're calling Chris Castleman. Let's see where he's at, and hopefully it will be good quality. And I got a haircut, folks. What do you think about that? Huh? It's cute. Cute as heck. Hello, Chris.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Tom Mabe from Sober Talk. How are you?
Hey, doing great.
You got a second?
Yeah, I got a second.
So I saw you email me, and you said you've been sober almost 20 years sober and drug-free.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. Are you on speakerphone or anything? Because it has to be right if you're on a cell phone. If you could just talk directly into the...
Hang on. How's that?
I can't really tell any difference. So, but what was your alcohol choice or your drug choice? What was your weapon of choice, your poison of choice?
Well, I was a hard liquor guy.
Okay.
Moonshine, Jack Daniels, tequila.
Yeah.
Drug of choice was anything I could get in my veins.
Oh wow! Like literally like with a needle?
Yeah.
Wow. I met a few people. I've talked to a few
Shoot.
people. That scares me. That kind of stuff scares me. I've never done anything like that. Knock on wood, because I probably would have liked it, and I probably would have killed myself.
Well, when you feel like you have nowhere to go and you hate yourself, and you hate everybody around you because of your life situation, it's an escape. And
Yeah.
what really
Self-medicating.
helped, it is. And what really helped me was finding religion and going through the 12 steps. And I tried to kill myself several times and really screwed up at it because I'm still here.
Yeah.
But it's part of my testimony. I'm just thankful to be alive and coming up on the 20-year mark.
Are you still doing meetings? Are you still working on 12 steps?
Well, I sponsor folks, and
So you are. You're still working the program.
Oh,
yeah.
Work the program. Always work the program, and I'm a pastor as well. So
Okay.
and we have drug rehab stuff that we do, and we don't ask no questions. We take everybody.
What
You know,
what advice would you get? Because I'm getting a lot of emails from people who just can't get that first couple days under their belt. Do they need to go to detox and be medicated while they're trying to, you know? I think that's a great idea. If you can go away for 6 or 7 days and let them kind of watch over you and your blood pressure and your heart and give you medicine to calm you down, and then taper that off before the 6 or 7 days over. I think that's a great idea. But a lot of people don't really need that. What do you recommend for those people trying to just jumpstart their sobriety?
Well, the first step is you have to be tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the second step is you have to be willing to admit that you want help. And after you take that step, what I usually recommend is I'll team them up with somebody that they're comfortable with,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll stay with them for a week. And you know,
a detox buddy,
a week,
a little detox
buddy.
Yeah.
And we lock them in the house, not against their will, so to speak, but we remove them from the environment, and if they can go cold turkey, go cold turkey. And if you can't go cold turkey, well then there's rehab centers that they can be hooked up with that can help wean them off of that without all the side effects.
Yeah, boy, that cold turkey. I mean, white knuckling it. And I'm just so cautious to what is said on this show. I just think that anyone should see a doctor first, because if you go cold turkey, I mean, because you can die from detoxing from alcohol. You can't really die from detoxing from marijuana or heroin or whatever, but you can die from detoxing from alcohol. I read, and that so it scares me. But there's a lot of people who can cold turkey, and they can white knuckle it and get through it, I suspect.
Well, most of all, what I find most people are looking for is someone to love them. I mean,
okay.
You know, they, as a child, I was molested and I was beaten, and none of my teachers knew about it. Nobody knew about it. And when I was 14, I was homeless, and the teachers didn't even know. I mean, I finished high school high and drunk and homeless.
Oh, my word.
I was homeless from the time I was 14 until I was 18, 19 years old.
Jeez.
You know, lived under bridges, inside abandoned buildings, out in the woods.
What part of the country?
Backyards.
What part of the country do you live in?
I live in the South.
Okay. Cool. Me
I
too.
live in the South. Yeah. I currently live in South Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
You live in what, Kentucky?
Yeah, I live in Louisville and spend a lot of time. Have a home in Hilton Head that I spend a lot of time at.
Yeah, both places, awesome places.
Well, thank you.
Been to both.
Yeah.
But the main thing is having the support system in place. And the main thing, there's a Bible verse I tell folks. It says 7 times a righteous man falls down, 7 times he gets back up.
So you said 7 times a righteous man falls down, and 7 times a righteous man he gets up.
He gets back up. That means you are going to fail. You need to understand that going into it. And if you understand that going into it, whenever you do fall down, it's easier to get back up. The more you get back up, the easier it is to walk away. And that's the bottom line, because there are people
I love that. That's just so, like you learn from your mistakes. You don't learn from doing things right, and you finally learn. Yeah.
You do, and you're going to have folks try to hold the mistakes over your head for your whole life, and they're toxic to you, and you just forget about them.
Yeah.
You know, you're a new person. Once you kick it, and you find joy, and you find people that love you and accept you for who you are,
mm-hmm.
well, then life's great, man. I mean, you know, why do you want to hang around people, even your own family members, that are going to bring you down? If they can't accept that you have changed and turned from what you once were and have become a better person, well, then that's just on them.
Right.
And surround yourself with positive people. You know.
I gotta tell you,
And
I'm very involved in my church. I've never heard that. 7 times a righteous man falls down, 7 times a righteous man gets back up. Wow, that is just, boy,
Well,
that's a
I'm
great.
gonna give you a homework assignment, and it's a real easy one.
Okay.
Tonight, all you have to do is get your Bible app out on any computer
Mm-hmm.
and type that in, and it will go directly to that scripture. That is a scripture.
Yeah, never heard that scripture.
Paul said that. Anyway, and we know how bad Paul was before he found grace. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, he was as bad as they come. And I was too. I was a bully in school because I was.
You were homeless, living under a
home.
bridge. No one loved you. Yeah, I get it.
You know, I hated everybody, and I was very mean, and I stole from teachers, stole from students, did what I had to do to survive. And you know, in that, I found drugs and tried to self-medicate, and just went deeper and deeper and deeper into it. But thankfully, it got to that point to where I was kind of a cold turkey person, and it took me
How many tries?
about 9 tries exactly to kick. The funny thing is cigarettes were harder for me to get off of than drugs and alcohol.
Isn't that crazy?
I figured that one out. I quit smoking every day for 4 years. Took me 4 years to give that nasty little thing up. But yet, after a year of falling down and getting back up, and falling down and getting back up, I was able to kick drugs and alcohol.
Good.
So, but the main thing is accept that you are going to fail. Surround yourself with positive people. And if someone doesn't want to help you, then wash your hands. Go somewhere else, because they're not worth it.
Yeah, and you know, and I've been a cancer to a situation. I'm gonna point, you know, when I was drinking and what I keep on hearing, a dry drunk, or when I was not a happy guy. I was not fun to be around. You know, so I got a lot of stress. I own my own business, and I'm at this age trying to create content constantly that will get views, so I can, you know, keep everybody fed and in college and stuff. And I got a lot of stress. I could drink, you know, but I get so much more done when I'm sober. I'm not getting that buzz. Yeah, the buzz always seems to make it worse. I got another email today. A guy said, I want to reach out to him. He said, man, I was a few days in, and then it all happened a week and a half ago. I got this dog, and the lady didn't tell me the dog had parvo, and the dog died of me. I fell in love with this dog in just like a week and a half time, and I just had to drink. Now, there's people who are dying of cancer. They're going to love one dying of cancer. We all have problems and good times, but drinking is not going to help. It's going to make it worse. You know, when you're depressed, you have a drink, it's just going to make you more depressed, right? Have you heard that? Is that true?
That's very true. You have 2 kinds of drunks. You have a violent drunk, and you have a happy drunk. And you know, there really is no in between. And when you're a happy drunk, you know, you're quote unquote the life of the party, but you're miserable. Everybody else is happy, but you're miserable.
Yeah, I've gone on stage, and you know, I used to drink before I got on stage, and I always joke, you know, here we are, the most insecure, damaged people in the world, and we get on stage as comics and go, judge me, and you need that. I can have 300 people give me a standing ovation, and I can look down and be, you know, that's just hypothetical, but I can look down and see that one guy sitting there like this. I'm like, why didn't you like it? Was it not good enough? And the whole insecurity and everything, you know, we are self-medicating because we feel like we're worthless and people don't love us or whatever. And, you know, traumatic childhood or abandonment or whatever, your dad ran off a hit or what. It's just, I'm just pissed. I'm just so pissed that it's taken me this long to figure this out. I'm envious of the kids who are 22 who have figured it out, and they're working the steps, and they're living life. But man, I spent the past 25 years of my life, 26, being married and with kids and that. The majority of it buzzed.
Well, let me give you a perspective there. You said something, and I caught this. You said you were upset that you're just now figuring it out, and there are people in their 20s who are figuring it out.
Yes.
Well, think of it like this. At least Tom Mabe has figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that, because if Tom Mabe hadn't figured it out, the pattern would keep repeating.
Yeah, the vicious cycle. Yep.
That cycle would never, ever end. But you want to know when it's too late to figure it out? When you're dead. Okay? That's one.
Yeah.
I'm just as happy when the 20-year-old figures it out as I am when the 72-year-old figures it out, because it's a joyous thing to know that they figured it out, because once you figure it out, then you can move on from that point and do the right thing.
Yeah, and it's not just figuring out, not that you don't just stop drinking. When you work some kind of a program or get therapy, counseling, or whatever, in my case, the 12 steps, you learn to live life to its fullest, and it's just so much better. It's just so much better. I was watching a documentary on David Cassidy, who played in the Partridge Family, and he had all these issues with drinking. He'd fall off the wagon. He would get sober. They were doing a documentary on him for VH1 while he was still alive, and he did something on stage. They caught him on stage where he couldn't figure out the lines. I couldn't remember the lyrics to the words. He fell off stage and all this stuff, and he told the VH1 producer who was doing it, he said, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I found out I have dementia." Then later on he said, "I don't have dementia, I was drunk." Again. So he's dying on his deathbed. He's looking at his daughter. He said, and his last words like, "So much wasted time." And it was, being a drunk. So every day you're robbing yourself of life, or your loved one, or your whatever. You're robbing yourself and your loved ones of life by being drunk. Because those aren't countable. Those days don't count. Those days, I don't think those days count as living.
No, that's just existing. But here's another way I want you to look at this. And
Okay.
And Tom, I want you personally to think of this. You have a beautiful daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She's smart. She's educated. She's loved.
Mm-hmm.
All of her needs are provided for.
And my son, let's not forget Josh. He's a very
and I'm getting to him right now. I mean, Josh is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Josh is living with a disability, but yet he is functioning and doing what he wants to do and enjoying it. And you may think, well, my wife did a big part of that, but I beg to disagree, because both parents working together, each of us make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
They love you to the moon and back. I see it in all your videos. And when you and Josh are live together, the way he looks up to you and looks to your approval.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing a great job. And whether you know it or not, you got people out here online that are watching your videos or listening that they're feeling hopeless and they don't know what to do. But then you get on here and you start talking, and you take their mind away from it for a little while. And it encourages them to be able to just go that one more day. In the 12 step, we talk about the one more day, but what about the one more hour?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a minute-to-minute thing. Sometimes it's an hour-to-hour. Sometimes it's a day-to-day. But now the only thing I do differently in the meetings, I do not claim to be an alcoholic, and I'm going to tell you why.
You don't claim to be an alcoholic.
And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
It's going to make sense to you. It's going to make sense to you.
Okay.
Okay. When I found my Savior, and I asked Him to help me with my life and forgive me of everything, He made me a new person. And as that new person, that means everything that was behind me is behind me. So
Right.
I'm new. So I'm no longer a functioning alcoholic, because because he took that part of my life away from me. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now to some folks who still want to do it the other way, I'm all for that. I don't knock it. It works. But I call myself a redeemed alcoholic.
A redeemed alcoholic. A fixed
Yes.
alcoholic.
Because that part of my life has been taken from me, and as long as I know that I keep myself surrounded by the people that I love and that love me, appreciate me, and people of faith. Now, faith is not for everybody.
What do you mean by that?
Life,
What do you mean faith is not for everybody? What do you mean by that?
Well, I'm talking about church and religion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, I know it's kind of funny to hear a pastor say that, but that's just fact of life. Some people want it, some people don't, and you don't force things on people, because that's being a tyrant, and God don't like a tyrant. Just be blunt.
Yeah.
But you just surround yourself with positive people that you can relate to, people that love you, people who have gone through the same things you've gone through. The anonymity of walking to any meeting in this country, right?
Yeah.
And saying the Serenity's prayer, and standing up and saying, hi. I say I'm a redeemed alcoholic, but others say, hi, I'm an alcoholic. Be able to stand up and say that and share what's bothering you, or what might be triggering you at that time, or what you might be dealing with that you need help with. There's someone in that room that has already gone through it, and they're going to be able to reach out to you
Right.
without the whole world knowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're able to help each other. And that's in a nutshell, that's it. Ahead of time. People like to judge. It's a shame. We see it in our nation today. I'm not going to get into all that. With all that stuff going on, it's all about judgment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you just have to know that ahead of time. And when they do, well, then it's like water rolling off a duck's back. Okay, well, you're not important enough to be a part of this decision, so go on.
Well,
I don't need you.
Well, hey, I got 3 minutes left here, so I'm going to cut you off. But man, the takeaway from this conversation, several, but you said the Serenity prayer. That's my favorite prayer. That's the God give me the strength to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I've read that my entire life. It was on a plaque in my house growing up. I walked by, I read it, and just memorized it. Or was in the bathroom. I sat there and just read it while I was using the bathroom, whatever. It was. But I never really knew what it meant until recently. The wisdom to know, to tell the difference, and some things you just can't change, and some things need to be. I can change my drinking habits. I can, my health. I can do all that. But well, man, I have got to go. It is we are at almost 8:58. This is Pastor Chris Castleman. Am I saying it right there? Hold on, something sounds right.
Yeah, you said it right.
Okay, and you're from the South right now, we'll call it, and I really appreciate you. You made my night by talking about my family, because something I've never harmed. And you hear people say, I've never had a DUI. Well, man, you're probably the most unluckiest person in this room, because you don't know, you haven't had the dire loss of something like that. So I don't want to say I never hit my kid or I haven't, but I just, I have not been in the present. I have been out in the garage working on something, working on my motorcycle, drinking a beer, or it's robbed me of a lot of time, and my kids, mainly my kids, my wife and kids, and hurt a lot of people being drunk, and said a lot of bad things to a lot of people, and it's just me, I'm just happy that today I did not drink. There you go. How about that? So.
Hey man, well, I'm gonna let you go, but you got my number. Feel free to call me anytime, and appreciate you letting me give part of my testimony.
Well, we'll do the other part next time. How about that?
All right. God bless you.
God bless you. See you, buddy. What an idiot that guy! When I teasing Mr. Casper, Chris Casper, we will definitely have that man back on the show. He was wow, I got a lot out of that. Thanks for just hanging tight with us while we did that, guys. I love you very much. This has been another hour of Sober Talk. I'm gonna post a new link to Sober Talk from our Facebook page, and we got a new official Facebook page. You'll recognize it. It has the blue Sober Talk, kind of like that, and I want to try to get people over there because this is my comedy page, my fan page, and I have this page and my watch page, Made in America, and it is a tad different from the other content that I create. And anytime you deviate away from the content and from the style or whatever, it kind of, a lot of people don't want to hear this. I guess they recognize it and they check out or whatever. But I want to give a special face. I want to have a special home for this. And we're going to set up a phone line. We're going to have pros come in to talk with you guys and myself, therapists. This guy here, I'll tell you right now, he knew what the hell he was talking about. I could tell. I heard a lot of what he had said from doctors and people in AA meetings and stuff. I love you. Stay safe, stay sober, and we'll talk with you soon. If you're not sober, just try to get sober. Try to get help. And if you I don't recommend the cold turkey thing because I can't. I'm not a doctor. I don't want to say that if someone dies or something. No, yeah, I'm not a doctor. This is not AA. This is some dude who had a drinking problem, who's quit, and it does him a lot of good to talk to you guys about it. All right, see ya. Thanks for turning in to Sober Talk. You email me your phone number, tom@tommabe.com, tom@tommabe.com. Not sure if we're doing one of these tomorrow night. I will let you know, but I would love... well, tonight was good. I didn't even want to do it. Wow, it turned out good because I'm so daggone tired. So, all right, guys. See you next time. Thanks. Bye.